It's Independence Mixing Night. Tonight's special guest independent artist Coburn is live in studio. Coburn will dispel touring myths, talk about fan engagement, drop social media gems, and we'll discuss songwriting and how she is building her current album project. Coburn brings you the first-hand independent knowledge live. Jump on the chat roll and ask her a question. Also on the show, Ken critiques viewer submissions. The few, the brave, the Mixing Night community sent us your songs to critique live, and so we shall. Ken discusses production and promotion for the new independent single I Give Up by Taj Farron, which just hit #1 on the iTunes Blues charts. With over 300 million streams, independent artist Grizzly Adams offers up some priceless career path advice for you. We kick it off with a sprint mix. Tap in a friend. It's Mixing Night. It's not moving. There we go. Welcome to Independence Mixing Night. I'm your host, Ken Lewis. Tonight, me and my co-host, Mazzy, right over there. Welcome Coburn to the studio. You absolutely will not believe our origin story. They should write a comic book about it. You saw the intro, so you basically know what's going on tonight. Big fun show. I'm really excited about it. Big shout outs to Taj Farron on yet another iTunes #1 single, I Give Up, baby. We are wrapping up his album right now, and it will be out in August, in time for Grammy voting season. And boy, I would really love all of my Grammy member friends and viewers to please support Taj Farron for Best Contemporary Blues Album this year, because honestly, I think we've made it. Yeah, and you can check out a lot of, we've put out 4 singles so far. The album drops in mid to late August. Do you all remember that secret Wu-Tang double album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, with only 1 copy in existence on a chrome CD in an intricately carved box? Yeah, did you all know that I mixed that entire double album? Yep, I did. So now you can hear a 5-minute sampler of the album as a $1 NFT. I'll show you the trailer later. You know how this all came about. That Pharma bro bought it, and then the government arrested him for fraud, and they had the album in a government locker, and then Pleaser DAO bought it, and Pleaser DAO is the ones that just put out this 5-minute sampler, which is, man, for me, it is so cool to hear my work again. I hope one of these days Pleaser DAO puts out the whole damn thing. This album is absolutely fantastic, and what was I going to tell you guys? Oh yeah, Pleaser DAO's doing listening events, at least for these NFT clips. So you can, I think they just did a listening event in New York City, and they're doing one in Tasmania of all places. But I hope they do one in Cincinnati, because I really want to hear more of this record. You know, I mixed that thing like 11 or 12 years ago, and I probably have heard it while I was mixing it more than almost anybody else on planet Earth. But man, I would love to hear that shit again. So hopefully we'll all get the chance. So a little, hey, Mazzy is already demanding her payment. Soft flex here. You know, I've got a ton of hip hop cred, but would you shut the fuck up? Oh my God, she's so cute. So I've got a ton of hip hop cred, but I feel like mixing the Once Upon a Time in Shaolin album really solidified my hip hop credibility forever. But if you didn't know, here's a few fun hip hop facts about me that I bet you didn't know. Number 1, I played accordion on Watch the Throne. How many people can say that? I am the very first voice you hear on Jay-Z's Blueprint 2 album. I produced the live horn section on All of the Lights for Kanye West, and when we started seeing marching bands play that shit at halftime in stadiums, when Kanye called me for that gig, that is exactly how he described to me how he wanted it to sound and feel. So coming full circle to seeing marching bands actually performing that shit at halftime is like a religious experience for me. It's freaking amazing. And also, if you didn't know, I have produced songs for Eminem, Future, Kanye, John Legend, Ghostface Killer, Young Jeezy. I've co-produced for Jake. Hey, you. All right, enough. I've co-produced for J. Cole, Vibes Cartel, Kendrick Lamar, T.I., and many, many others. But enough about me. Tonight, I am sprint mixing an old favorite of mine that I think still feels super fresh. It's this song, Temptation, by friend of the show, Sugar Jesus. People who've been with us for a while certainly remember this song. It's just so fun. And if you didn't know, where's my script? But why sprint mixing, Ken? Why? You can create your own sprint mixes. And here's how you do it. If you're mixing a song and you really like your mix, you can stem out that final mix, keep all of your plugins on, stem the final mix out one track at a time through the mix bus, then load all of the stems up and line them up in a brand new DAW session, then have a friend clip gain volume randomize every single clip, some up, some down, some the same, you just never know, and then you set the clock for 10 minutes, and you start, and you do the absolute best rough mix that you can possibly put back together in only 10 minutes. And I guarantee you this will sharpen your instincts, it will train your gut, you will stop questioning everything. It's been the best real, and I treat it's not how I do client records. This is athletic training for my ears. So I'm going to do, it's over there. I'm going to do Temptation from Sugar Jesus. We got 10 minutes on the clock with our sprint mixing more video. Hey, let me give some shout outs here. Steven Ramos is on the chat roll. DaFingers, Parquette Williams, K Wright, is that? Seamus Cranley, Luke Truin. We'll see if Mazzy lets me. Jay Gotti, what's up? Josh S, MBI. Great seeing you, MBI. It was so much fun seeing you in Scotland. When we were in, where was it? Yeah, all right, I'm going to get to the sprints. More shout outs later. Great to see you all. This is Mixing Night. Let's fucking go. It is hot as balls here. Jeez. It is humid and AC's cranking, and but man, it is a hot mixing night on July 3rd, people. Let's freaking go. So that was Temptation by Sugar Jesus. I think it came together really nice. I haven't mixed that in maybe two and a half years. Love that song. Next up, I wanted to show this crazy ass Wu-Tang NFT. It's like an album sampler from the Once Upon a Time in Shaolin album that I mixed, and this is just like the advertisement for the NFT, not the NFT itself. But me and Jonathan and Nolan all bought the NFT. It's like $1, and for $1 you get the 5.5 minute, sampler. So go spend $1 on an NFT and listen to some classic Wu-Tang Clan, man. That shit is fire. Roll the clip. Oh, it's on my desktop. Hold on, I will roll the clip. Here it is. Here it comes.
The idea was to bring value back to music. So the idea was to say, you know what, let's put it in the art gallery. Let's make music become a living piece like a Mona Lisa or a scepter from Egypt.
No one will be able to hear this album for 88 years.
I said, this thing to me is important to me like a child. You know what I mean? You know, are you going to respect it and take care of it? He said, yeah. And so we made that deal.
I'm gonna erase you from the record books of rap.
And he had control of this one-of-a-kind piece of art, and I could say that it was in the wrong hands.
Federal agents arrested him at his New York apartment.
This album sat in the Department of Justice for a couple of years.
It's the Wu-Tang album no one's ever heard, right? It's a legend.
Now that Lisa Dow has it, I think it's in the right hands. With some original ideas that we wanted to do with this album. And now there's opportunity that a lot of these beautiful ideas and how it could expand itself in the world. I think the possibilities are there now.
Yo, this is the unreleased, like, this is, oh shit. You guys are dead ass.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like this, man. I wish I had my hands on this. This is a classic.
Induction, then destruction. Who wants to die? Oh, wow.
I don't know how y'all see it, but when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. Wu-Tang is the best, okay?
Yeah, it's done. That's fire. If this drop, I'm on it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Would you like the CD out in the public?
Of course. I mean, what you gonna hold it for 88 years for?
Yes, it's back. The Woo. Oh, man. So go buy the $1 NFT and you can hear the whole, like, 5-minute sampler. It's fucking dope. You definitely want to do that. Anybody who's a classic hip-hop fan or a Wu-Tang fan, this shit is fire. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Pleaser Dow's going to do with it, but come on, Pleaser Dow, put that shit out. All right, who we got on the chat roll? Piper Payne's on the chat roll. Man, we got some heavies on tonight. So I have a... Yeah, we do. Yeah, Mazzy says hello, Piper. Piper and her partner Colby, I believe, did a video on vinyl cutting for us. I'm going to show that later in the broadcast. Thank you so much for that, Piper. She's based in Nashville, and if you need vinyl cut or manufactured or mastered, she is the company. Luke Truin, what's up, bro? Nolan is on. Woo, woo, woo. Who else is on? DeFingers, I'm going to critique your shit later. Can't remember who else is in the critiques. I couldn't get to everybody, but I'm trying to get to as many as I can. What's next, Mazzy? What do you think? Oh, Ken wants to give indie artist advice. So here's... Hey, you. Listen. Okay. Here's Ken's 6 top pieces of advice for independent artists. Number 1, be the most authentic, biggest version of yourself and find your tribe. Right, Mazzy? Just find your tribe. And Massey Bear. Don't bite my fingers off. Number 2, grow a thick skin. Don't give a shit what people say. Love it, hate it, man, just find your tribe and don't care what the haters say, because these are the haters. A hater's just having a bad day. They walk over to the computer, they see your post up on something, and they fire off some just shit comment that, 10 seconds, they hit enter, they're gone, they never think about that shit again. You, as the artist, are, you're sensitive. You stew on that shit for 3 days and it affects you. But you got to get past that, because especially nowadays, people feel entitled to go after you for stupid shit. And what you really need to understand about that is that's a reflection of them, not you. They're having a bad day and they just want somebody else to feel shitty just like they are. And they never thought of you again 10 seconds after that comment. So don't let it affect you. Number 3, don't strive for fame. Fame is an illusion, right, Mazzy? I'm trying to tell him fame is an illusion. Strive for a loyal fan base. And then once you have a loyal fan base, grow your loyal fan base. And, fame nowadays, fame is for the very, very few. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. Ask most famous people. Number 4, work on your craft. You do not need to release every song you do, and you don't need to make every song that you do great, but identify your best songs and take those to the best finish line that you can possibly take them. And because the reality is, a lot of indie artists get caught up on, well, I want to do my album. It's going to be 10 songs or 14 songs, and it's going to be about this, and the whole thing has an overarching message. And really, if you don't have one song that absolutely stops people in their tracks and makes them want to listen, those other 9 or 14 or however many are never going to get heard anyway. So you got to make sure that you lead with your banner carrier champion, right, Mazzy? I'm trying to tell him, Maz. Number 5, this is a long, long, hard road. If you don't wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night and only think about being an artist within that 24-hour cycle, then you may not be cut out to be an artist, because almost every successful artist that I know lives, eats, breathes being an artist. And it's tough to do it part-time. You can grow from part-time to full-time. I'm not saying you can't, but the best way to grow from part-time artist to full-time artist is to write great songs. I think Dan Scrizzly Adams is going to talk about that a little bit as well. And to prove my point about the myth of fame, not this. So, hey, Mazzy. So here's the myth of fame. The RIA is the one who certifies gold records, and I've got currently 114 certified gold records. I'm probably going to get 20 or 30 more this year because none of my BTS shit is certified. So it's got to drop eventually. But going through the list of gold records, I see so many artists that I am either barely familiar with, have never heard their name in my entire life, or might know them but have never heard their music. And so what this tells me is that getting a gold record isn't totally difficult nowadays. What you need to do is get yourself a dog. Getting a record is not difficult now. Well, it is difficult nowadays, but it's not impossible nowadays, even for independent artists. But you got to put everything into your best song and ride that shit as far as you can take it. I think me and Brent produced Des Rock's first 2 EPs. And they were from, scratch in a bedroom and, Des Rock's dream. And the third song that we ever put out was Let Me Live, Let Me Die. And it's got over 78 million streams on Spotify now. It's going to go gold soon. And that's something that we could have never envisioned sitting in our studio back then. We just knew that we wanted to make the best, most connective music, the most honest music that we could all make, and then put it out and promote it like crazy and let the chips fall. And that's what we did, and that's what happened. So there's some advice for you from me. Hey, you. Now, before Mazzy gets too unruly, I am going to spill over to Scrizzly Adams. And so I have known and produced, I don't really produce Scrizzly much anymore. He's working with a bunch of people, and Frank E being one of the best ones. And I just love Scrizzly's music. I've always been a fan. I always will be a fan. He is one of the hardest working independent artists that I have ever met. He lives and eats and breathes this shit. And he's got somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 400 million streams racked up as an independent artist. He was signed to Atlantic Records for a hot minute. Atlantic kept him on the shelf, and eventually he got out of that deal and went back to being independent and has lived and worked and survived as an independent artist for a long time. So take it away, Scrizzly. Another one. Okay. Well, I will take it away, Scrizzly.
What's going on, guys? Grizzly Adams here. Advice for indie artists. Okay, just like an army, you are only as strong as your troops are motivated. Troops applies to the people around you, working team, management, agency, your friends helping out, but most importantly, your audience. And the key to motivating the troops, in my opinion, is great songs. It comes down to as simple as that, great songs. If you're a songwriter yourself, write the best songs you can. If you think you have great songs, write more great songs. When you have great songs in the vault, the people around you feel really motivated and they want to do things to make sure those great songs are heard. When fans of yours and audience members know you have great songs that are out, they're going to fight for you. The moment you don't have great songs, or you don't have great songs in the vault, things slow down. I remember someone once telling me that the music industry works in 2 speeds. It either jet speed super fast, or moves that like just tiptoeing kind of thing. I really think what it comes down to is the songs you have in the vault and the songs you are releasing. The best songs you have will always be your your fastest ticket to getting to where you want to be. Okay, thanks, guys.
What's good, Mixing Night audio family? This is Marcus the Fingers Manderson back with another Mixing Night Meta Mission moment. In this Mixing Night Meta Mission moment, we're going to talk all about some DIY things that we can use as independent artists. Before we get into that, shout out to the Mixing Night audio community, because if it wasn't for the Mixing Night audio community, and particularly Dom Ravinius for giving me a recommendation, I would not be a part of the class of 2024 of the Recording Academy. Shout out to Dom. Again, this is what this community is all about, finding collaborators and networkers and people that can help us get to the next level in our careers. So thank you, Dom. Appreciate the recommendation. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start here with Adobe Express. You can access Adobe Express for free. This can help us in designing our flyers and TikToks and resumes and reels and things like that. We will include links in the Discord group. Along with Adobe Express, you can get this Adobe Color, access to Adobe Color, which will help us decide what colors complement each other when we are designing our flyers and reels and promo materials. And we also have Canva. I've used Canva. You can see some of the flyers and posts and things I've worked on in Canva here to design workshop covers, flyers, social media things, and stuff like that. So check out Canva. We have the link in bio. If you're not familiar with Linktree, you can use Linktree to custom design your link in bio so that when people go to your bio on social media, you can customize different links that can be included at the top. We also have ManyChat. So I use ManyChat so that people can comment on social media posts, and it will start an automation. It'll send them DMs. So if they comment, in this case, neoclassical, I will send them information about my neoclassical music workshop. And you can use a platform such as ManyChat to automate those things. So if you have an album release, you can promote your album release on Instagram, for example, and say, hey, comment the title of your album. And when people comment, it will automatically DM them the link to your album. Another AI source for you, Opus Clip. I use Opus Clip to put in episodes from like YouTube interviews. And what Opus Clip will do is it will create you anywhere between 10 and 30 clips that you can also post through Opus Clip. You can schedule them to post on social media. It can also put the captions at the bottom, and you can customize how those captions look. Check out Opus Clip. We also have DaVinci Resolve. This is a free platform. There is a free level of DaVinci Resolve that you can use to edit videos. There's also DaVinci Resolve Pro that you can get for a nominal price. So check that out, DaVinci Resolve. Next, we have Disco. Disco is a platform that we can use to manage our catalog. I also use Disco to submit playlists and things, to sync opportunities, to sync libraries, to sync agents, to music supervisors, to trailer libraries, and all of the above. We also have Lyric Vids. So if you're looking for an affordable way to create your lyric videos, Lyric Vids works with major labels, major artists, but they also work with independent artists. We will include a link in the Discord group to check out Lyric Vids. Also, we have Plugin Boutique. So if I'm looking for plugins to purchase, I usually start with Plugin Boutique because you get credits towards a future purchase. You also get a freebie every month when you buy plugins from Plugin Boutique. Next, we have merch. So you want to get your name on your shirt, get your name on your jacket, get your name on hats and hoodies. You can use a company like Zazzle, and you can also get the Mixing Night Audio swag. So check out the Mixing Night Audio site for merch that you can get. Next, we'll talk a little bit about sync licensing. If you go to Control Camp, this is a free community that you can join. And the great thing about joining Control Camp is when you join, you can click on courses up here and you can take a free Sync Licensing 101 course. As you see, I took that last year, but you can take the free Sync Licensing 101 course. And after you take that course, you are eligible to submit to submission opportunities through Control Camp for free, no charge. Next, we're going to talk about 2 libraries. These are not free, but these are incredible libraries that just came out there, recently released as of this week. We have Decadence, Trailer Toms from AVA Music Group, an incredible epic cinematic percussion library. They have a limited time intro offer, very affordable actually right there. Check that out from AVA Music Group, our friends over there. Then we also have the Tommy Prophet percussion from Cinematic Tools. Again, another very affordable price from Cinematic Tools in collaboration with Tommy Prophet. We have the Tommy Prophet percussion. Definitely check that out. And then finally, we're going to talk about 2 conferences that I think you should have on your radar. We have Mixnick. Shout out to Big Ben the Prodigy, fellow Full Sail alum, who's been keeping me up to date on what Wavy Pro Audio, Wavy Wayne, and the Wavy SEAL Team Elite has been working on over the last few years. They have Mixnick coming up at the end of July. It is a chance to network and learn from Wavy Wayne himself, the Audio Nerds podcast, Young Guru, Leslie Brathwaite, Ben Thomas. I will include a link in the Discord group for you to check out, and you can also access it virtually. So check out the Mixnick conference that will be in Atlanta at the end of July. And last but not least, a fully virtual conference that I will be part of at the beginning of August 3rd, will be Level Up Sync Conference. I'll be talking about trailers, but you can see what's happening here, talking about the legal aspects of sync. There will be a songwriter panel. There will be money, how you can handle money as you're getting these placements, as you're working with these artists. There will be a music supervisor panel with some great music supervisors lined up. I don't even know all who's going to be involved. So a really great conference to be a part of. This is fully virtual, fully accessible to people around the world. So I will include a link to this conference. Also, there are more coming up. So we will be sure to keep you updated on upcoming conferences and, of course, the plugins and resources that we can use as we continue our independent journey. Have a safe and happy holiday if you are in the U.S. And this has been another Marcus Manderson Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right. Peace.
We are back, baby. Thank you, Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, for another great segment. I see the chat roll lighting up and giving you daps. That's pretty darn cool. What's up, Aaron Coburn? I see you on the chat roll. I'm going to bring Aaron Coburn into the studio in about 10 minutes or so and let her drop a ton of indie artist advice on you. Man, she has been touring since she was 12 years old. She's 23 now. And touring since she was 12 nationally. The girl's got just a ton of experience. She's cooking up her new project now. You're definitely going to want to tune in. And you guys can, jump on the chat roll and ask Aaron questions as well. So fire away, baby. Let's see. And I'm going to get to, before I get to questions, I got a lot of flack last week for not showing my Grammy. So I won a Grammy this year, finally, after this is my 8th try. 7 times a bridesmaid, 8th time was a charm. This was for Taylor Swift, Midnight's Album of the Year. I was a recording engineer on it. It says recording engineer mixer. I did not mix anything on Midnight's, but I am a recording engineer. So here's my Grammy. I finally got one. I'm in the club. They can't kick me out now. Whoop, whoop. I feel like I should have a bunch more, but, you know, that's a discussion for another day. Let's see. Let's go to questions. Josh S. asks, hey, Josh S. Josh S. asks, what's your favorite way to create the formant shift effect on vocals? Josh S., the favorite way I create formant shift is either with Little Altar Boy from Sound Toys, or I think it's called Vocal Bender from Waves. And you can automate them. And usually, you know, if it's static, I'll just keep it static and I'll play with them until it sounds best. But almost the only thing I ever turn on those things is the formant. Maybe a little bit of drive, but for the most part, I'm just looking for a clean formant, and then I'll use other plugins to shape that formant. And I think if you missed last month's show, I did a whole formant automation thing, and I showed you like creative ways that you can use formant automation to really enhance your production. So check that out. Merlin Rommel asks, hey, Ken, is it better to have a strong, louder signal going in when you record so you have more control over it with the volume out? Or would you say a quiet signal going into a plugin is better? Okay, you're talking about signal into a plugin. It really depends on the plugin. For instance, LOLCOMP works differently with different level content. And sometimes one of the secrets of LOLCOMP is you've got to either pull down or push up the input until you start getting the reaction result that you want from the dial. And also, LOLCOMP is a little bit too aggressive for the mix bus, but it sounds great on almost everything else. Whereas some plugins are great for the mix bus, but they're nowhere near as versatile as LOLCOMP or something like that. So it really depends what you're trying to do with them and what you're trying to accomplish. I think that's the general rule. But I tend to find less is more, plugin land. If you see me sprint mix, that is to train you to balance. So I strongly encourage you to get everything into the mix as fast as you can, balance it all out, and then kick back, just listen to it for a while. Just start evaluating it as a fan, as a listener, instead of as a mix engineer. And listen as a listener and ask yourself, like, okay, what does the song need right now? If I was listening to this on a live, you know, on Spotify, and I heard this on a playlist and I'd never heard the song before, would I be skipping right now? If so, why? Would I be engaged in it? What's keeping me engaged in it? What sonically isn't making sense? And that's a totally different mental perspective for you to judge your work. And I do that a lot, and it really helps me deliver a mix for the listener, and not just the mix that I love, but the mix that I think is going to elicit the emotional response in the mixer that I'm trying to get, and the listener that I'm trying to get. Rafay Shazad asks, hey, Ken, would you recommend throwing LOLCOMP on the master before sending stems to the mix engineer? No, I think I just answered that. No, I would not. The mix bus is the only place where I don't love LOLCOMP. Occasionally, I will use a touch of drag and saturation on the mix bus if you're not pushing it hard yet. But LOLCOMP sounds much better when you're not pushing a shit ton of signal into it. It just doesn't, you know, it's not designed as a mix bus, but it's great on everything else. But we are designing mix bus shit, so stay tuned. We're designing our next plugin right now. We're pretty close on it, too. It's sounding cool. I think it's going to be a real game changer, problem solver, great sounding, simple plugin that hopefully everybody's going to love like they love our other stuff. Merlin Rommel asks, hey, Ken, I've been writing songs for a while, but every time I practice them, I improve them. I just don't seem to ever finish them. Would it be time to move on or find the end of the road for them? I think that's a personal question for you. You know, only you know how much time you want to spend on them, can spend on them. Only you can envision how much further you can take them. You know, the one real struggle with independent artists is, and I've seen this many times before, the exact same songs that you send out to a record company or your manager sends to a record company or you get to this DJ or that manager or whatever, and nobody's interested in you. And 6 months later, maybe you catch a viral TikTok or something like that. And then all of a sudden, all of that music that you were shopping to all the right people 6 months ago is all of a sudden buzzworthy and everybody wants to sign you. That's how it happens. So even if everybody is ignoring everything that you're doing right now, you have to believe in it. You have to be the one who is proud of it and, you know, says, okay, this is what I want my fans to hear for a long time. And it's much better, like I said earlier, I think it's much better to put out a single than a 10-song album. If you can't catch them with a single, 10-song album isn't going to move anybody, and nobody's going to spend the time to listen to it. But if you put out a single at a time, the way we broke Des Rocks, other than the fact that Des Rocks worked his ass off on, networking, but the release schedule for Des Rocks was one song every 2 months religiously, 8 weeks really, one song every 8 weeks religiously, and we'd put it out and we'd promote the fuck out of it, and then we'd spend the next 2 months trying to match or beat it and come up with the next best single. And then after we put out 5 singles in a row, we retroactively bundled that into the 5-song EP, which you can do on Spotify and Apple Music and everything else. And then we put out another single, and 5 more singles. And then when we put out the 10th single, we bundled that into EP2. So Let the Vultures In is EP1 for Des Rocks. Martyr Parade for Des Rocks is EP2. But we released those one single at a time. Every 2 months, a song dropped. And depending on how prolific of a great writer or recording artist you are, if you've got a shit ton of amazing songs, put them out once a month. You know, if something catches, you can start really focusing much more on that. But you don't have to give everybody everything. You have to give everybody something that they're going to love. And once they fall in love with that one thing, they're going to be so much more open to looking for and finding everything else that you do. But if you can't catch them with that one, you got nothing. Okay, a couple more questions from submissions. Jamie Scott Heatley asks, hey, Ken, my band Tell Mother is recording home demos right now. We played and recorded without a click track to get the feel, and then we started to overdub that. I've tried beat mapping and time correcting, but once I do try quantizing a few elements, it really sucks the life and the feel out of the track. What do I do? So I'd say if you really love the feel of the basic takes without a click track, then just build on that and don't try and quantize it and make it perfect, but be conscious that each overdub that you do keeps feeling that great energy that you caught at the during the basic takes. Just don't get sloppy with overdubs. Or you could say, hey, this song is really important. I think these, these demos are great, but I think if we, cooked up the arrangement a little bit better and put a click track to it and, cut it more seriously, we could even level it up more. And if that's what you determine, if that was my determination, we would be recutting it. There is no amount for me of things that you have to do to find a finish line that there's no limit on that. The only limit is when it sounds like a finish line to me, it's done. And it's not done until it sounds like a finish line to me. Use the same things for you. Devin asks, hey, Ken, how do you keep the listeners listening throughout the whole song? Devin, I think there's a bunch of ways. A lot of times I think the transitions are immensely important. As a mix engineer, a lot of times I'm mixing other people's songs and productions, and I will create drops before the chorus. Say I'll mute the bass line on the bar before the chorus, and then I'll drop the kick and snare out on beat 3 and 4 right before the chorus downbeat. And I'll open up all of this just momentary space, and then it kind of just resets the listener, and it prepares the listener for something else coming. Then I will smash them in the fucking face with the chorus, and then I got them. And then, once you have the chorus going, every song needs its own arrangement, which is going to be the most complementary to that song. But you do have to remember we live in a TikTok world, and even if you're not trying to be on TikTok, people's attention spans are gonzo. So if you're an independent artist and you're trying to get on playlists where nobody has heard you yet, you got to get to it right away. I mean, start with the hook, start with the vocals. Give me a 10-second intro max. If you're Drake, you can give me a 30-second intro, but you're not Drake, and neither am I. So get to it, you know, charge out of the gate with something that is super signature and unique to you and draws the listener in immediately, because you really get about 5 to 10 seconds per listener, and they decide whether or not they're going to keep listening. So that's a cruel world out there, but you can break through it. You know, anybody can break through it. You just got to have enough time and focus and attention and motivation and money, because here's the other shit thing about being an independent artist. I'm going to bring Coburn in a minute. If you put out a song and you don't have a established fan base yet, and you do not spend money on promotion, nobody's going to hear it. Unless you are just relentless with playlist reach outs and things like that. But you can do things like Release Radar and build a fan base over time, but never think that you're just going to put out a song, even if it's a great song. You're just going to put it out. You're not going to spend any money on it. You're not going to get any real push behind it. And it's going to catch people, because 9,999 out of 10,000 times, that song is just going to get passed over or skipped or never listened to in the first place. And I can show you that on Spotify. I can't pull up Spotify right now, but my group of Scene Stealers, me and Michael Moss, the songs that we spent a little bit of money on promotion have good streams. They're all organic streams. People actually listened, but we had to get on those playlists. And the songs that we didn't spend on promotion, very few people listened. And that's just the way modern indie stuff goes. You know, you got to build a fan base over time, and it takes a long time. All right. Hey, I am going to bring in my favorite independent artist on planet Earth right now, Erin Coburn. She goes by the artist name Coburn. And Erin, come on in.
Where should I sit? I'm going to do the dog bed because it looks the most comfortable.
Oh, you can lay down there, or you can sit in that chair, and I think I'm supposed to move over here.
Perfect.
And yeah. So I feel like I should start with our origin story.
Yes, I like that story.
Which is the craziest thing. You know, in this music industry, it's actually not that crazy, because I've had similar, like, no fucking way this actually happened, events actually happened. But here's how we actually met. So I moved from the New York City area to the Cincinnati, Ohio area a little over 2 years ago. Back hometown, I fucking love it here. It's the best thing ever. But when I got back in town, I was like, well, I should see what's happening with the Cincinnati music scene. So I posted up on the Cincinnati Reddit thread, and I asked people to post up links to any artist who has any national breakout possibilities. And I listened to every single link that every single person posted. And one person posted, you should check out Erin Coburn. And when they posted the link, I was like, okay, I don't know if it's a dude or a girl, but I'm going to listen to everything, so let's go. And I think it was Sleeve.
Was it Sleeve? Yeah.
I think it was Sleeve. And I listened to it, and I was like, got one. And needle in a fucking haystack. So I pick Erin out of every artist on Reddit, and then I invite Erin over. And she comes to the front door, and she walks in, and she looks at my wife, and she says, we have a mutual friend. Yeah. And it turns out that me and my wife have a great friend who's also great friends with Erin's parents.
Practically my aunt, actually. She's like my god aunt.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, and that all happened after I picked her out of the Reddit needle in the haystack. So then she comes to my door, and it turns out we're old family friends. And Lori has actually hung out with your parents. So now we're like besties now, and we hang out all the time and play cards and fucking get in trouble. It's great.
Are you looking over here?
No, you're. I think
I'm
you're
looking
here.
This way.
You're there, but I'm when I actually want to talk to
Look,
people.
where do I look?
But
we're highly caffeinated. I love that story.
Oh, can you pop that light on? I think
This is a light.
Yeah, it's got a button somewhere on it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good morning. Hi, chat.
Oh yeah, shout out to the chat roll. Rosso, that's a new one, K, right? Flamio, what's up?
Oh, they felt. Oh, thank you so much for the kind words.
Coy Vin, Tease Worldwide, what's up? Cello, good to see you.
Your chat is hopping. I love it.
Oh, speaking of which, before we get cooking, I keep forgetting. I wanted to do one shout out. I wanted to give a shout out to Naomi Cannon. She is an acute care registered nurse, and she is working all night tonight. She had to skip the live stream, but she says she's going to catch the restream. And, you know, she is working for us on the night that the second most fingers get blown off in the year.
It's a nightmare.
So I'm suspecting Naomi's in for not a fun night. Thank you for catching the restream, and thank you for all the nursing work you do. You're amazing. So back to Aaron Coburn, artist name Coburn, and your Instagram, all of your socials are Coburn Official.
Although I'm working on YouTube now, it's been an adventure that I'm about to embark on, and it's Coburn Chaos because Coburn Official was taken. I think it's Coburn Chaos. That sounds correct. I just changed it.
Coburn Chaos.
Yes.
So how long have you been playing music with guitar?
Yeah. Well, I picked up a guitar when I was 2, but like that wasn't like the official day or the official year.
Not
I
the
guess
kickoff.
That was the kickoff. Yeah, that was the interest moment when I found my dad's old acoustic guitar that my mom got him for their anniversary, and he never played it. So I was like, 2-year-old. It's like, that's mine now. So yeah, I took that, and then when I was 7, they got me my own acoustic guitar that was like my sized. It wasn't like an upright bass to me. So, and I just took off from there. Took lessons, and
you were touring by 12?
I was touring by 12. Yep. I finally found a guitar teacher that just clicked because I went through like several, and they were like the ones before the one were good, but it just wasn't. It was like, here, learn this, come back and then play it, and then I wouldn't learn it, and then I come back and attempt to play it.
Uninspiring.
Exactly. Yeah. Now this third or fourth mentor I had, he was like a blues musician, so he had like open jams he was running. He was very versed in this improv scene. Like improvising solos. And I met him, and it just blew my mind. I'm like, show me how to do that. That's so cool. And that's what blew my mind with guitar. And he started bringing me to his like open mics and open jams, and like all my friends. I was in like middle school, and like all my actual friends were like 60 and above now because they were all at these open jams. So and they all looked very scary, but they were the nicest people ever. And I learned so much from them. So that's how it started.
That's amazing. So it all started from like blues improvisation.
Yeah.
And now you're moving your artist career into heavy rock.
Yeah. Heavier music. Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen her Instagram page, she has solved social media. She totally gets it. She understands it. She's gonna drop a few gems for you guys tonight, but definitely follow her at Coburn Official. And I feel like that's such a big key of being an artist nowadays. Now, the question is, well, do you have to get on TikTok? And no, I'm in Obscene Stealers. We're not on TikTok. We're not trying to be like super famous. We're trying to get sync music placements. So we create amazing music for sync, and that's our niche, and that's where we want to be. And you don't have to be known by anybody in sync. You just have to have the right sync connections and great music. So why was I talking about that?
It's very different from the social media world. That's interesting.
Yeah. But if you want to survive as an artist and grow a fan base nowadays, you really got to be popping on socials.
It's a mindset too, because like if you get in the mindset of going, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that, and like it's so annoying. I got to make stupid videos. I saw a video about that yesterday. I'm like, if you look at them as stupid videos, then you're going to be putting out stupid videos, and then your audience is going to say this is a stupid video. If you look at it as this is an opportunity to connect with people that might like my music, or just to connect with people, because that's what social media was for, like it can be lonely, like, being an artist. So this is your opportunity to go find friends, which are essentially fans. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Do you do any live streaming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I grew up live streaming on Facebook. So before the pandemic hit and everything, I was live streaming pretty much every week, and a lot of my OG followers are Facebook followers, and they were always on there. And that's the first time I saw, like, I would live stream rehearsals. I would live stream like just acoustic, me playing acoustic. I would live stream just me and my electric guitar, like all the time. And I was constantly talking to these people too. It wasn't just like, all right, here's my guitar, I'm going to play 10 songs and I'm not going to say a word to the audience.
Right. So you're interacting with people just like we are with the chat roll. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the chat roll is awesome because you get to like talk to people, and like,
this room.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's such a good environment. So I think that was the magic in it. But yeah, I grew up with live streaming. Yeah, I don't do it as much now, but I'm planning on going back.
When your record is done, would you come back and live stream a song or two for us from here?
I'm here for it. Yes.
That's awesome. We'll put you in front of the projection wall and put some crazy visuals behind you and fucking rock
I want
it
an
out.
anime fight scene.
So we could arrange that.
Perfect.
We can definitely
All
arrange
right.
that.
Hold him to it.
So yeah, and if you haven't heard Coburn's music yet, her new stuff, is Sleeve the only real heavy thing that's like out and streaming?
It's not really heavy, like at least to
right.
like,
It's not what you're doing now.
Totally,
it's
totally.
a bridge song.
It's a bridge song, yeah. And
But your socials, you post up a lot of songs that are like in the direction of what you're doing now.
totally, yeah. My Instagram probably has like the best idea of like, okay, this is where it's going, kind of. Yeah, it's always evolving, but that's the human aspect.
And can you talk a little bit about like the good and bad of like product endorsements and how they can be beneficial but maybe not long term?
Totally. Yeah, so I've actually done a lot of soul searching with this. So I do a lot of like branded videos, and it's been a journey with that. Like when I first got like paid to do a video. Actually, it wasn't even when I got paid. When I first got offered to do a video for a company, I can't remember what the first company was, so I'm not going to say names, but I was so excited. I was over the moon. I'm like, this company that that's really big and that I've used their products for, they want to do a video with me on social media. This is exciting. And it was super exciting. It's like, it was a cool, like first moment, of something that was like, oh, this is a different level. And from there it kind of grew, though. I started getting paid for social media, like branded posts and stuff. But I started to realize I can't make every post branded, because even though to me it feels genuine, because I'm only taking brands that I genuinely like and genuinely believe in. Like, if a brand offers you, like, I mean, if it's a lot of money and like you're in a bad situation, maybe, but if you really don't like the brand, or if it's not something that you actually use, like, don't take it, because
I'm 100% on
people,
board with that.
people can see right through that. Like, if someone's like marketing some potato chip that they've said in the past they hate, like, I don't believe that, know, or they don't use it every day. So every product that I do, I make sure I use this, like actually use this. So that makes the video easier.
One of the biggest benefits that I saw from some of your product collaborations was like the Joey Sturgis Tones Women's Music Month. I thought that was a really cool thing for you to participate in, and it also introduced your music to a whole new plethora of potential fans. And I think, as an artist, if you can leverage opportunities with that seem genuine, that don't seem like a sales pitch, and just show what you're using and how you use it, which is what you were doing there, that to me is like a great level up in exposure. But, but it probably took all of those other things to be able to get those opportunities.
Yeah, and that one was a big undertaking. Sorry, I'm gonna do this because I'm seeing it light up in my mind. I'm like, oh, shiny. Yeah, that was a big undertaking too, because it was like they reached out, and I love JST. Like, shout out to Joey Sturgis Tones, because they're the sweetest people. And like,
I like his plugins. Never met him.
Oh man, I use Howard Benson vocals on like everything.
Nice.
Guilty, but they are awesome, and they reached out. They're like, we want to do Women in Music Month. Like, obviously every month should be Women in Music Month, but we really want to make sure like we're focusing in on this month and like highlighting a lot of the artists that like a lot of people don't get to highlight. So we did that, and it was me and then the artist rep Sue. She's amazing too. She's fantastic. We like planned like 30 days of content, but then I shot and like planned a lot of it out, and I was in charge of like reaching out to all the women. So it was a lot, and it was one of the biggest undertakings I've ever taken with media creation. But I learned so much.
And you had to gather everybody's performances.
Yep, and edit.
Put them all together, mix them down, edit all of the video content, and deliver the video content. That is a big job.
Yeah, I edit all my own videos, and yeah, I mean, I'm not a great mixer, which I'm learning. That's why I watch Mixing Night, 'cause I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna practice that. But like, if you know how to at least basic edit and basic mix, like you're above so many other creators, because they're having to hire out that portion of it, and they may not even be making branded content and getting paid for it, so they're losing money.
Right.
So like, not that it's all about money, but you want to make sure that you're doing things smartly. So if you can edit and mix your own stuff, then it's like more huge power.
Yeah. And shout outs to Kyle Wolf, our video editor. Kyle, without you, we would not have the show that we have, bro. You are a big help around here. So I've taken on too many skill sets. I do not need to tackle video editing.
You got a lot going on.
Oh man, I got a lot of shit going on. It's good to be busy, but man, there's a limit to everything.
Yes,
Whew.
protect your energy.
Yeah. I'm trying to have a good summer. I'm trying to really kind of tap into the summer a little bit more than I usually have in the past. And
do you find that like helps when you go to like write or be creative? Like having that downtime makes a difference in what you're creating?
I mean, the most time I'm taking is when I need to be creative. So, I'm taking those breaks to kind of reset and clear, and then coming back and trying to be, find that inspiration in those moments. And, and I'll do that in the studio sometimes too, even if I'm, co-writing with an artist or another writer or something. And, we crank out an amazing verse and a pre-chorus, and we sit for 2 hours and fucking can't come up with a hook to save our lives. And, you just go take a walk for half an hour, and you get the exercise going, the endorphins firing, and you reset, and you come back, and it's a completely different perspective. I highly recommend it.
That's the best advice. It really is.
You want to talk about our songwriting techniques that we've been working on?
I saw the chat going by. I just wanted to say hello again. I saw someone had run sound for me in Columbus, and I just wanted to say shout out to you. And I didn't see their name, which I feel really bad. But thank you. It's good to see you in the chat. That's so cool.
Well, maybe you'll run sound for her again.
That's so sick.
Girl's gonna be on tour again.
I hope I wasn't too hard to deal with.
Where was your last show that you just did?
We were in Philadelphia and West Virginia. So I love West Virginia.
You really get out on the road a lot.
Yeah, it's slowing down though, because I've realized how difficult it is to write 12 songs and be on the road. Like it doesn't work well with like the inspiration thing, because like you said, having that downtime. Like on the road you have downtime, but it's very different. Like the van sometimes brings inspiration, but it's a very soul-sucking environment because you're in a moving vehicle for like 12 hours at a time, and like you're living off of like
sometimes
chips.
Just trying to read or write makes you motion sick.
Guilty, definitely. Yeah, we took out. I had this great idea because like I'm an idea man, Chuck. You know that movie? Anyone know that movie? It's a great movie. Shout out. My dad's watching. He knows that movie. It's so good. But anyway, I had an idea, and I was like, what if we take out the entire middle like section of the van? Like there's no seats in the middle. So it's very odd. You have like mom drives. Shout out to mom too. I love mom. Mom drives. Then the passenger seat is like where she puts her purse. And then there would normally be a row of seats there, right? No, gone. It's amazing because now we have like a big bin full of like things you can songwrite with, or like inspirational stuff. So it's there to access, which is nice. But now there's a big floor space. It's like it's open. It's a little bit better. It feels like a living room versus a van.
Have you written anything you like on the road?
No. Well, maybe a couple small things, but like lyrics, it's really hard to play guitar in the van, but Strandberg makes it better.
I find that when I travel, I usually write really well.
Really?
So it's a different thing than touring, because traveling, you're usually on some sort of a vacation or slow down or whatever, and you're in a new place and you're not in your just familiar environment, and it sparks new ideas. And I often find that I write my most creative ideas when I'm, away.
That's amazing. That kind of reminds me, I've been doing this thing lately. Have you heard of the coffee shop effect? It's like where you get more work done when you go to the coffee shop or like somewhere else, like how you're saying. So I've noticed that same thing. Like normally I'd write in my studio, and my studio has no vents, no windows, and it's all painted black. So like it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm just in my head now, so I need to get out. So I started going to this coffee shop. It's like 25 minutes away. So the drive there is beautiful. And by the time I get there, I'm like totally in a different headspace. So it's so cool to hear that, like, even like the top people are like, oh yeah, get out, and I go different places.
Dude, one of my favorite things to do is jump in the fucking Lotus and
go
someplace at high speed for a few minutes and just go around the block and hit some back roads and come back. I was out in the Lotus this morning for a good hour. God, man, that's just... I mean, the Lotus is a beautiful, beautiful car, but it is the funnest fucking car to drive on planet Earth, man.
Is it stick shift? It's manual?
Yeah, six-speed manual. Oh,
too scary.
Love it. Yeah, that's a fun one, man. But it is a Spartan car. You better love to drive.
I bet.
The seats aren't fun. The radio sucks. The heat ain't great. But,
Lord.
Man, if you like to drive, you don't care.
Yeah, you like racing.
All right. I wanted to show people a little bit about what we were working on.
Yes. Wait, did you want the social media tips? I totally forgot.
Oh.
Do you want those now,
yes.
or do you want those later?
Let's do the social media tips before we forget about them.
I have I have 4 things. I have my notebook. This is like the to-do list. This is like another to-do list notebook, and then this is a book, and then this is the songwriting book. I brought a lot.
All right, show them what you got.
All right, so couple tips. I just wrote down a few things, and it's probably very scattered because I don't know if you guys do this too, but like when you have ideas, they don't just end up on the lines. They end up like in the middle of the lines, diagonal, you know, all the fun stuff. So I'll try to make this kind of organized. I have a couple. Okay, well, some of the things that like your tips were fantastic.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh, like being authentic, like that's definitely the biggest one because people see through it. If you're trying to be someone else or like, you know, if you're trying to be like the next Eminem or like be Eminem, like
And
you
that's
can't
the
be
thing
yourself.
nowadays is everybody is like somebody.
Yeah.
You're weird to everybody else, but there's plenty of weird people just like you who are going to hear you and go, oh my God, that's my tribe.
Yeah.
I love this artist. Wow.
Exactly.
And you just have to find those people and then grow that niche.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Tap into it versus trying to be like the biggest artist in the world. And like,
Yeah.
if you're right, like, I think you had said it, like if you're writing to be like famous, like you're not going to produce probably a good song. Like
No,
you got to write
it's-
for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to write stuff you absolutely love and
Yeah.
hope that it connects with people the way it connects with you.
Yes. I love that. You make me cry. I had so much caffeine today. I also got new tattoos and they're hurting. Okay. Okay. So besides being authentic, I also put having a script / a plan. Like you don't always have to have a script, but I noticed that I became a lot more consistent when I had a script or like an outline to follow or even series ideas. Like come up with an idea for a series. Use ChatGPT. Look up, hey, I'm a so-and-so musician. I make rock music and I primarily play guitar. Can you give me a series idea or like 10 series ideas for Instagram or TikTok? Like I would probably be platform specific because different things are received differently on different platforms.
Right.
So I would say, all right, give me a series idea because this is going to be something that you'll be able to consistently keep up with. Versus like, all right, trying to come up with an idea out of the blue all the time. Like
Right.
I have this series idea called Bite-Sized Riffs, and it's like it's pretty basic, but it gives me the opportunity to not write a riff and feel like I need to turn it into a song. I can just write a riff that's under 90 seconds, and then that's part of the series. There's another series that I'll be doing called song or riff personality test. So I only have one of them out right now, but I've been wanting to post more. Time. But essentially, I create like 3 or 4 riffs, and then I put them in the video. So I'm like, all right, welcome to the riff personality test. I'm going to play 4 or 3 riffs, and you can pick one. And then by the end of the video, I'll tell you what that means. And so I do the riffs, and at the end of the video, I talk about like I'm like, oh, this riff like sounds like this, and it's kind of funny or like entertaining. I think the last one I did, like if you like riff 3, you probably have anxiety, and the whole comment section was like, spot on, spot on. So am I clipping this? I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, series ideas are huge and they'll save you time and you can be creative with them still. It just gives you a nice little guideline. But scripts are good too. I took this TikTok marketing course from the Contra brand agency. It was awesome. One of the best things I ever did. Shout out Jocelyn. She's not there anymore, but I think she works for Def Jam now. So she's going up. So
No
she's
shit,
awesome.
all right.
But I learned so much, and like they gave me a script outline, and there's lots of script templates online and stuff too, so you can find like social media script template and then fill it out because like the main things on that script, I wish I would have had it with me, but like the first thing is like a hook, like you got to have a good hook, and it immediately grabbed people, whether that's like for Sleeve, for example, I ran up to the camera and I said, if someone sent this to you, they want you to know that. And then the song played, like 8 seconds of the song, and that went viral. I have almost 1 million streams on Sleeve. No money put behind that at all. And it's just from TikTok.
Nice.
So like the hook is the most important thing besides like the actual content, of the video.
Right.
But yeah, so there's that. And let's see. Another challenge is reading my own handwriting. Can anyone else relate to that? Okay, so I recently got assigned like a meta manager. So like Facebook and Instagram have been doing these things where they give you a meta manager for like a meeting or two, and you can talk to them and ask questions, and they'll give you tips on like, hey, try this. Have you tried doing this with your media and stuff? It's been super helpful. So they said, at least right now, and this could probably change, and I am not an expert. I didn't go to school for social media. I enjoy doing it. So
I think you figured it out.
This is what's worked for me. So I don't want to tell anyone like, if you do this, you're gonna go to the top, because you know it's different for every person. But these are things that you can at least try. But they said 3 to 8 hashtags right now. So don't load your posts with like 200 hashtags. But it is apparently beneficial to put hashtags in your posts. But you don't want to do like, if you're a guitar player, don't do hashtag guitar. Like make it, because there's like millions of posts in that hashtag. Like do, like I play headless guitar, so like hashtag headless guitar, or you know, I don't know, hashtag 7-string, hashtag 6-string, like a little bit more specific, because then more people will find you that way versus being in a giant sea, you know.
Right. Makes sense.
And then your reels. So if you don't know, so I'm more of an Instagram creator, but I'm going to be trying to branch out to other platforms like YouTube and stuff in the future.
I see you on TikTok sometimes.
I'm on TikTok too. Yeah, I still think my Instagram is definitely my strongest thing, but sure. I know how TikTok works. It's just, I think TikTok works better for song-based content. That's another thing is there's song-based content. This is what I learned from that Contraband thing. And then there's just like artist-based content. So like your artist content, it could be anything, you know, it could be like a funny video or, you know, something about you or whatever, like, I don't know, a skit. And then your song-based content would be a skit that's about a song you're specifically trying to push or create like a trend around. So like Sleeve, for example, that running up to the camera and going, if someone sent this to you, they want you to know that. I had people using that audio and copying me and running up to it and saying, if someone, and it started a little trend. It was really cool. And one of the best pieces of advice I got, specifically because of that video from like Jocelyn, was keep posting videos like that. Do that same exact video, use that same exact audio, and just do it in different places. And because if it's doing well, like why would you stop doing something that's doing well? And I'm like, you mean I don't?
Because new people are going to see it all the time.
Exactly. I'm like, you mean you don't have to come up with like 300 different like new video ideas? She's like, no, push that one if it's doing well. I'm like, okay. So if you have a format that's doing well, push that. Okay. Let's see. I feel like I was talking about something and then I went on another tangent. Don't remember. Anyway.
You're just like me.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing my water.
Rocking the iced coffee in there.
Okay. Oh yeah, Reels. Okay, so since I'm primarily an Instagram creator at the moment, I'm gonna say something that's regarding Instagram. Shocking. So Reels are 90 seconds and under. But what I've noticed, and I want to ask Meta about this next time because I forgot. But apparently, like there are sometimes I'll have videos that are a little bit over 90 seconds. And I'm like, oh no, like I can't post this as a reel. Well, what's interesting is if you post it as a video, it still shows up as a reel. So, but I think it's still better to have 90 seconds and under. So like aim for that, because yeah. But that was just an interesting factoid that like blew my mind. And then stories every day. It's super simple. And if you have music out there, use your own music in your stories because you'll get paid for that. So like, there's no reason not to use your own music in your stories. I mean, I need to be better about that because I forget it. I'm like, ooh, this other song from this one person. Like, I love this. I'm going to share that, which is good to do that too. But post a story every day, at least one. It takes 5 seconds and it gives people a look into your life. And there's that connection, you know, like for some artists, the mysteriousness works, like Sleep Token, for example. You know, like we know nothing about these guys. Like, you know, they keep their personal lives and their music very separate, and that's very intentional. But I think the best way, this is just my opinion, but the best way to market, especially as like a solo artist or even a band, is like be personal. You know, people want to connect with people. So, you know, stories are a great way to do that. Show people what you're eating for breakfast, you know? Oh, something funny happened today? Do that. You got a new tattoo? Show that. So, yeah, I think there were a couple other things. Yeah, I said like regarding the brands, like that was, you know, only work with brands that you really want to work with. And another good thing of information. You let me know if I'm talking too much. Man. I don't.
These are awesome.
Okay,
these are great.
Okay, so another thing. So a lot of people have, I've noticed some of my friends that ask me like, how do I work with brands and stuff? Well, they've had the brands that they've reached out to, they've had the mentality of like, ooh, like I want something for free. Give me free stuff, which is an exciting part of working with brands, like, you know, getting discounts or free stuff, or, you know, or just having respect from a big brand. It's exciting. Right. But I think one of the most important things is you have to give them value too. So like with big artists, the value they're bringing is like they just, you know, they're using that.
They have a fan base,
exactly.
And their fans like what they do.
Exactly. But as a creator, you're bringing a service almost. Like you're making a video revolving this product that you like to use, which shouldn't be too hard to make since you already use it or you like to use it. Right. But still, like, you know, like when I first reached out to Strandberg, I didn't reach out and go, hey, can I have free guitars? I think I was like 16 or 17. Don't quote me on that. I was young. It was a while ago. I reached out to Strandberg. Mm-hmm. I've been endorsed with them since that.
Those are the headless guitars that you love?
The headless guitars. They were the first. I think they were the first company that ever endorsed me. Maybe it was DR. I think it was Strandberg though. Shout out to Strandberg. I love them. They're the sweetest people in the world, and they're the reason why I'm going to China in October too. So
that's amazing.
I'm so stoked.
Is that like the NAMM show of China happening?
It's the NAMM show of China, yes.
And Strandberg's flying you over for that?
Yes,
That's
they are.
exciting.
I love them so much. Yes, but so when I reached out to Strandberg, I said, hey, I've noticed that you don't, at the time, they didn't have a lot of blues players, and I was primarily a blues player. So I was like, I noticed you don't have a lot of blues players on your roster. I would love to bring more blues players to Strandberg and show, because I had primarily a blues audience. I'd love to show that audience that Strandbergs aren't just metal guitars. They're super versatile. And that brought value to a company. So anytime you're reaching out to a company or like a brand, like you want to ask yourself, what can I give them? What can I bring them?
I think that's great advice.
Yeah, and like it's not like you're like, that's
because if you don't want to do that, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you probably shouldn't take that gig.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's something that you use and love, and you just, you should be able to enthusiastically tell people just what you do with it authentically, you don't have to make anything up.
Exactly.
Just like the shit I show on Mixing Night. Like, we use this shit.
Yeah. It's a two-way street. Yeah. It's like companies are people too. And like, I got really good advice. I'm working with George Lever and James Sanger too for like some of for the new music. I love them so much. Huge props. I have so much respect for those people. So much.
So let's talk about your new album. So you're currently writing a 12-song album.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you have
kind of an album.
Yeah. And you have most of your instrumentals kind of fleshed out and sketched out, and you're into lyric writing mode.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell us the rest. When are you going to the UK, and who are you working with?
Yeah, so it's a 12. So I don't think I've talked about this at all. So this is like the first time, but maybe a little bit. But it's happening right here.
It's happening.
12 songs, and they'll be released as singles because we had that conversation, and it blew my freaking mind. I'm like, I'm not doing an album, no, because singles, it's the age of singles. So and that makes the most sense. So anyway, 12 songs recorded as singles or released as singles. I love that mug. That's so sick. Wow. That's awesome. Can they see that?
We got these at these New Jersey street fairs.
Oh, that's gnarly.
We have like 20 of these things. They're all different. They're all one-of-ones.
So sick. Oh man, I'm
anything
sorry.
art. You're like us. We see art and we're just like, what is that art? Oh my God, that's wicked. The coolest thing I've ever. We have to have that.
Speaking of art, I just learned that you can tattoo. Wait, can I say this on the live stream?
Sure.
You can tattoo buttholes.
What?
I had my tattoo artist today was like, yeah, we had a lady come in and get her butthole tattooed. I'm like, what? And they showed me a picture. Oh, I'm like, that's hardcore. So anyway, but yeah, 12 songs recorded as singles, and I'm recording them with George Lever, who I've like dreamt of working with him. He did Sleep Token, Loathe, Monuments. He's worked with Jesse Zaretti, who works with Marvel, and I have all the respect for him. And I was so excited when he like responded back to me. I'm like, oh my God. And then his friend, and also like they're like a team, is James Sanger, and James does a lot of like orchestral stuff, and like he's a freaking genius. And I have like a meeting with him every week, and it's like 6 hours. We'll be talking for like 6 hours, but I've learned so much from them. And I'll be recording
so you have
with them.
like 6-hour Zooms once a week with basically your producer.
Essentially, yep. Mm-hmm.
And you guys are working out arrangements and song structures and moods and
So I have like the songs are I just finished like last week the 12th demo, so they're all like written, but within the next couple of weeks there are going to be choruses that are striked from the songs, bridges that may have actually been like a pre-chorus. Like things are going to move around, and they're going to be probably completely different from where they are now, but like that's the exciting part because it's like the starting point. So but I have until September 6th to get those ready. So we're going to have the bass and the vocals fully tracked before I go to the UK. And then when I go to the UK, it will be guitars and drums that we're working on, and then sound design and any kind of like production stuff. And yeah, so I'm so excited.
That's so sick. I cannot wait to hear this thing all put together and finished. Oh.
Yes, I've been using your like tips for lyric writing on because now I'm switching modes, because writing riffs and writing the music has feels like it comes more natural. And now I got to go into lyric mode. So I've been using your left page, right page technique.
So let me show people
Show
what
them, it's
you're
so awesome.
talking about. This is not the only way that I write, but this is one of the main ways that I write, especially in a room with other people, because I feel like it's a great brainstorming technique. Where is the song that we were writing? And so I have these books that are no lines. And it's just big open pages. You can buy these as inserts. You know, this is permanent, but once you run out of pages, you can just buy another insert and start another book. So I take the left side of my page as my idea side. And I am not trying to write lyrics on this at all. I am trying to, you have an idea of what the song is named. This song, I think, might be called Shroud. And that evolved as we were writing it. I can't remember what your first idea for it was, but it evolved into Shroud. So the left side of the page is like all of these. It's a gazillion words. None of them rhyme. It's all just moods and moments and inspirations. And then when all of those things are vomited out all over the page, then you can start scanning the page and putting together completely disparate ideas that normally would never go together. But when you see them right next to each other on a page, you start coming up with lines that you would have never crafted otherwise. And here's, do I have any clever ones here? Probably not. But no, I'm not going to read any of those. But
it gets personal.
yeah. We're not done with this yet. But High Above Your Low Opinions is one that I really liked. Underestimate My Ambition. Both of those words. Underestimated was one of the words on the left, and ambition was one of the other words on the left somewhere. And, just as we were putting this together, the ideas just come. So that's one way. Use the left side of the page only for ideas, and then use the right side of the page to start crafting lyrics. And then you can always flip the page and write more and more and more lyrics and go again. And it's, especially when you have a very basic idea, but you're not sure where to go with it.
Yeah.
Word clouding like that can give you all of these different meanings of the word, of the essence of the song that you didn't expect. So you could write a song called Time, and time has like 10 different meanings depending on how it's used and the way you say it. And you can use different meanings of time that don't go together with other meanings of time to craft lyrics together. And if those are all ideas on a page, it's much easier to see. So that's what I do.
Mind blowing. I think you showed me that on like a FaceTime, and then we did it in person. But I was just like, what in the heck? This is super cool, and it helped get me out of my head a little bit when I was writing the lyrics.
Yeah.
And like, cause you were like, all right, have the title or like have the story, and I've heard that a million times. Is like the song starts with the story, and that's so true. I recently did an experiment where I was at the coffee shop, and I decided to, this was for actually track 12, I decided to get out of my studio, and because I've done the thing where I write all the music, and then it's like, all right, I have all the gibberish now, I know what the melodies are, now I gotta write lyrics. Oh no. So with track 12, I started with the story versus I didn't have any music like written for it. It was just the story, and I had this dream about the It Clown. And I won't go into what it was about, but I woke up and I was like, what is wrong with me? And Pennywise, the It Clown. And so I like related that to like fears, and I related it to like the story being falling in love with your fears versus running from them. And it turned into more of a story from there. And then I was like, what am I afraid of? Well, spiders, claymation. The word for claymation is ludomotophobia.
What?
When I watch claymation, it scares the jinkies out of me. Oh my God.
I'm going to have to file that one away.
Oh, God. Like Coraline or like, Paranorman.
Hey, guys in the control room, if Coburn is ever here cutting vocals on a creepy song, we've got to put claymation videos in front of her.
All you'll get in the vocals is just like screams.
I know, that'll be great for your songs.
Yeah, someone said Wallace and Gromit. Yeah, so for this song, to get in the inspiration for it, I was watching claymation videos, and Wallace and Gromit was one of them, and then I think the Chicken Run, Yeah, and then there were some other ones. There were some really, really creepy ones that were on like this.
Yeah, Robot Chicken?
It was. I've heard of Robot Chicken, but I haven't seen it.
It's the best television ever.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing. So. It grew. The story grew, though. So I started with that original concept, and then it kept growing and growing. And then I found, like, holy shit, this is, like, the most personal song I've ever written. And I started without, like, music to it. It was just lyrics and just the story. And I wrote a 6-minute song, which I've been struggling to write songs that are longer than, like, 2 minutes and 30 seconds or, like, 3 minutes. And I really wanted to have at least one song on here that just felt like it was pouring soul, you know? And
right.
It was crazy. It was so crazy. And I used your lyric. Actually, I think I have. Yeah, here it is. That's the page. I wrote claymation at the top, and then here's all the word vomits.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this.
You have
to hear it.
Made a massive impact on my process.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear.
I'm not sponsored, but I just wanted to share this book. Growing up, I watched Andrew Wong a lot. He's like a YouTuber, and since I've been trying to get into YouTube,
shout out to Andrew.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew. He's great. I'm always trying to learn something, like whether it's with guitar, like I use JTC, or like learning bass or getting better at vocals or like learning vocal techniques or like pronouncing my words. You know, always practicing or learning new things. And again, watching Mixing Night. So this book has been something I've been using to like learn new things from, and it's been awesome. So it's called Make Your Own Stories, and it's about being a content creator and but also being a musician and not falling away from being that, because sometimes when you create content, it's easy to want to create it for other people, but content's the same thing as music. Like, create it for yourself first, and
you gotta love it. It's gotta connect with you.
Yeah.
If it doesn't connect with you, why would anybody watching it connect with it?
Yep.
Can you guys fire off some Coburn questions off the chat roll for Coburn, and I will ask her
my dad's
if there
in the chat.
are any.
Hi, Dad.
Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Mirror reset. Yep. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. All right.
Is anyone else in the chat highly caffeinated? Are y'all lit up right now?
I bet there's a few. MBI says Robot Chicken is amazing. So I think the 2 best minutes of television ever created is the Robot Chicken. I think it's called Blue Harvest. It's the show where Emperor Palpatine gets a phone call from Darth Vader after the Death Star got blown up and Darth Vader is floating around in space. And when I tell you to find this clip, it is the funniest shit I've ever seen. And I don't think there's been a person I've shown it to who hasn't just burst out laughing.
Is it claymation?
It's dolls. It's like action figures from Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
So you might it might pass. I don't think there's any clay involved. No clay used.
Definitely be laughing, not crying.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So
I'm highly. Let's go!
Who's highly...
W's in the chat! We were just talking downstairs that you need, like, the soundboard, like, where you can, you drop a knowledge bomb, and then you go, boom! Or,
I can do that on the Stream Deck. It's just we keep adding new stuff to the show, and then we keep, fucking up small segments of the show, and I mean, I gotta say, the new studio and the level up and the new cameras and everything, we've really put our fucking hearts and souls into this broadcast. Every month we really try and throw down. There's days of prep, but it's also the thing that we love, and we just love putting the show on and bringing it to you. So we're gonna keep doing that. So fire away with Coburn questions. DeFingers asks, is Aaron scared of Legos too?
No, Legos are awesome. That's different.
Those that I don't know if it was the first Lego movie, but one of those Lego movies was the best shit ever that I unexpectedly couldn't believe that it was like, this is a Lego movie and I'm loving this.
Yes, the first one. The first one. Well, the second one was good too. The Batman. The Batman.
The
one
Batman
was
one, that was pretty good. Yeah, but the first one was mind blowing. It was kind of like a precursor to Barbie, where it was unexpectedly kind of storytelling and political in a way that you just didn't expect, and it was really like
everything is awesome. That song plays in my head all the time.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Ben Kruger asks, hey Aaron, what are tips to creating social media posts efficiently other than a script and a plan?
Interesting. I would suggest
having your room set up.
Yeah, having your room set up, having like, you don't have to have the best gear, but having like gear that you know you're going to use. Like for the longest time, I was actually using my iPhone. You guys know what an iPhone looks like. I don't know. I have to hold this up, but I was using my iPhone and I was using the selfie camera, not the back camera, for like every single video, maybe from last year. I don't know. There was a point where you'll see it. It's switched over. It's a big difference, but I was using this, and it like a lot of those videos went viral and did really well. And I was just using my iPhone camera. And I had a mic that I was hooked up to Logic, nothing too fancy, but yeah. I would have your room set up, and sometimes batching content is good. I know a lot of people have talked about that, but it does work. Like there was a time, like with the JST stuff, I was having 10 to 12 videos that were ready to go in my folder, and then I was working on 10 to 12 more. So it's not like, oh, this week I gotta hurry up and make this video. Like that's the most stressful. So I would try and take the workload off yourself. Like take a month or maybe a week or two to just focus on making videos and getting those videos ready. But don't
create
post
more content than you need before you start posting it.
Exactly.
Then you're not always playing catch up.
Exactly. So.
There was something else I wanted to piggyback on that, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. It'll come back to me though. Seamus Cranley asks, how many tattoos you got, Coburn?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I have new ones, but they're not done. I have one more session to go, and this one is.
She's got this.
Am I allowed to show that? It's bleeding on this. I don't want to like make someone pass out.
This is
Trigger warning.
Blood is allowed.
Okay. Well, I'm wearing shorts, by the way, too. I had to wear shorts for the session. Doesn't look like I'm wearing pants because this shirt is very big. I got this. It's a chicken dragon. No, sorry, it's a chicken gargoyle. I have chicken dragons on my arm. Chicken gargoyle. I love chickens. I grew up on a farm. So my thing is like, I want to have tattoos that are like cool tattoos, but like somehow infused with chickens. I love chickens. Chickens are amazing. That could be a whole nother segment, but they're so great. And they all have their own personality. They're great. So, yep, 2 on my leg now. And then I've got my chicken dragon. That's my chicken dragon. And then a gargoyle. I got these when I was 17. The diamond guitar and the diamond ukulele, Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, Sukuna's bands from Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I have a stomach tattoo with my butterfly and my Strandberg, and then I have Atlas from Greek mythology as a chicken. So and then I have, yeah. That's everything. Kind of.
I have 0 tattoos. I am not opposed to it at all.
Yeah.
I have yet to find anything that I want to put on my body for the rest of my life.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the more you do it, the more you're just like, I just want art. Your first one's always like, oh, it's got to be something good.
Yeah.
So have you anything inspiring you?
Not yet.
What about a lyric?
We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, getting a Grammy was pretty special. I'm not sure
Get your
Grammy
tattoo. That'd be so sick.
So, that is a possibility, but I think I just want something really cool. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't had one yet, so.
You never know.
I ain't dead yet. There's still time.
They're exciting. It's so exciting getting tattoos. Yeah. Just careful.
And painful.
On the bone. It's painful on the bone. The least painful spot is like forearms, and like the stomach wasn't too bad. So.
I wanted to talk about touring one more time because I think one of the things that most people don't realize is you have a booking agent, and it's really tough to be touring nationally without a booking agent, I would assume.
It is. I just recently got, I think I've been with him for 2 years now. I might be wrong, but shout out to Scott. He's awesome. Love him. He's great. Before Scott was booking for us, my mom was doing all of it. And my mom wasn't like a music industry professional. Like, she learned all of it by like doing tons of research herself, and like she's been so amazing, at diving into knowledge head first. Like I look up to her so much. She's one of the reasons why I enjoy education, because she's always in it. Yeah. So she was my booking agent before I had an actual booking agent, and she was like complete boss mode doing it, like reaching out to venues, emails. Like it's a full-time job. Like as an artist, I could do it myself probably, but I wouldn't have time to create, which, you know, having someone that you trust book your shows is important too, because there are a lot of booking guys out there, or booking gals, or booking agents out there that will want to take advantage of you. That's with anyone in the music industry, but there's a lot of good apples too. So
yeah, and you know, one thing about your mom becoming your first booking agent, you know, the music industry is a show me industry. It is not a tell me industry. You are never going to tell somebody that you're great and they're going to go, yeah, I believe you. They're going to say, press play. Let me see. Let me hear. And that's what you got. You got press play, or show the video, or play the song, or play live, and that's your calling card. So you know, the better you do that, then when people see that you have accomplished something on your own that is impressive, then they want to work with you too, and that's how it ends up working. I mean, that's, you know, when I first discovered you on the Cincinnati Reddit thread, you know, I just like laid in the cut for a while and just checked you out. I was like, okay, so I like her music. Let's see what else. Is she in this for the long haul? Is she really an artist, or is she just like, who knows, you know? And so I started paying attention to your socials, and I was like, okay, this girl seems to get it. And her voice is freaking fantastic. She's writing amazing shit. This girl's on her way. And I think you have such a bright career ahead of you. Oh my.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, you know, in a year or two's time, people are going to either be seeing you as the big opening act or coming to your, you know, headlining shows. And
heart exploding.
You know, yeah. I mean, you know, I've been around a lot of talent, and it takes a big combination of, it doesn't take one combination of elements. Everybody has a different combination and a different mix. It's how well you utilize your strengths and how well you develop your weaknesses that's going to move you ahead or not. And, you know, the people who can figure that out are going to be the ones that tend to be more successful. And the people who just lean on their talent and think that talent is enough, I mean, on occasion, talent is enough, but nowadays, talent is usually the buy-in. Everybody's talented, and what you do with your talent is what's going to separate you from the pack.
Atmosphere has definitely changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, and what do they say? Something like the numbers got revised. I think they're back down to like 23,000 songs a day uploaded to streaming services. Might be more. I think it was reported at like 50 or 60,000 songs a day. But 23,000 is a halting enough number. Yeah. And that just goes to show, if you don't put any promotion behind it, even if your promotion is creating a viral TikTok that goes, whatever your promotion is, if you don't put enough of that behind it, nobody is going to see your content, even if it's amazing. Yeah. Amazing. It just gets ignored.
Half of those people, I got good advice. Can't remember from who, but they said, when you put a song out, don't just go, song's out, go check it out. That's like the bare minimum. Like, be excited about it. If you're excited about your music, other people will be too. So if you're excited
100%.
about it, you're obviously going to be more willing to make videos and campaigns and do as much as you can. And it doesn't just mean, again, I put no money behind Sleeve, and I could have probably, but I didn't. And I plan to do that with this new material, is give it a little bit of time before, you know, I decide to maybe do ads or run ads on, you know, Spotify or whatever. I just want to do organic first.
Right.
Because you can do a lot without money.
But you've built your socials organically for years now. Yeah. And now you have a social juggernaut that you can lean on. Like, you know, I think about kind of in the early days of socials, Ariana Grande was I produced and co-wrote her first EP with her. So cool. And when she got signed to Universal and her first album, her first single came out, The Way, I could be completely wrong about this, but I don't think Universal was really checking for her. And I think she spent so much time building her social network, her and her family building her social network for real, that when that song came out, that song was a fucking hit out the gate. And that was because of Ariana Grande's socials. Amazing. And I think that she had that connection. She had a massive following. She was engaged and real.
Yep.
And when that song dropped, I think the record company looked at those initial numbers and went, oh, we have a star. Oh, we have a star. Let's fucking go. So yeah, because I mean, here's some behind the scenes info on Ariana Grande when she was on Victorious on Nickelodeon.
I remember that as Kat. Yes,
everybody on Nickelodeon signs a Sony Records contract.
I did not know that.
So, but Sony shelved her, so they finally had to drop her. Sony dropped Ariana Grande, and then she, well, I think she's on Republic now.
Is she?
And I think she, yeah. And yeah, can you believe that anybody would let that girl get away?
No.
I just
That's mind blowing. The fact that they shelved her too is.
Yeah, I'm one of the most insanely talented vocalists and musicians and artists I've ever worked with in my entire life, bar none. Just the girls are just surreal.
She blows my mind whenever I listen to her because I'm like, oh my gosh, is she human?
Yeah, she's amazing. What time is it? I think I have to get to the rest of the show.
Yes. Thank you.
You can stick around or you can take off. Either one. I'm gonna do the pro users mixing prep guide now.
Wonderful.
So,
I will let you get to it then because I should probably wash these tattoos.
Yeah.
It's been a
go
little
wash
bit.
the blood off.
Wash the blood off. Exactly.
Well, Aaron Coburn, thank you so much for dropping into Mixing Night tonight and dropping all of these independent artist gems. We super appreciate it.
It's been an honor. I do question things on my Instagram too, so if I didn't answer any questions, I'll do another one of those soon so people can ask.
Great.
So.
And come back and play for us when your album is finished.
I will do that.
Sweet. All right.
Thank you.
Artist Coburn Official. We'll see you later, Aaron.
Let me grab my 20 notebooks.
All right. I think, do I have to play the Piper Payne video? Do I have to play the Piper? Okay. Why don't you guys play the Piper Payne video? Piper Payne is a mastering engineer, and she has a vinyl pressing company, and her and I believe her partner Colby are gonna tell you a little bit about vinyl pressing and vinyl mastering and manufacturing. So take it away, Piper.
Hey, I'm Piper Payne, and I'm Colby Gustafson. We're here at Physical Music Products. We are two mastering engineers that press records every single day. So if you want to know anything about making records, we're your people to ask. Yeah. Let's go that way so they can hear us. I'm gonna take some lacquer, take some paper. So, when we get sent a project to put onto the press, eventually, as mastering engineers, the first thing we're looking for is a high-resolution wave file.
Yep, that's any sample rate, 24-bit depth.
Yep. We are looking for a side A and a side B sequence of the album. So that would be everything that goes on the first side of the album and then everything that goes on the second side of the album, all sequenced together as if it's going to just play all continuously.
Correct.
We like to get a reference as well so that you get a quick like MP3 so we don't have to download some big giant file to figure out if something's missing. We also want documentation.
Yes. A documentation of what tracks are on what side is very helpful. We also need to know what is the catalog number of the project.
That's the matrix. That's the thing that the mastering engineer will cut into the dead wax so that we can identify the parts. Because if I'm holding this lacquer or Colby's holding this set of stampers, we have no idea what record is what. So the matrix is very, very important for us to know ahead of time.
Yes.
Also, like, the sequence is very important, so putting, a very big ruckus song at the end of a long side is usually going to create something that's, very hard to cut or is going to distort. Alternately, something that's got, like, hardly any level at the end of a long side is also going to show a lot of distortion. There's always distortion in the cut. It's there, it's just covered up by audio that's mixed and mastered properly for vinyl.
Correct. If you are mixing with the intent to eventually have your music land on a vinyl record, it is best practice to just worry about the sequence and leave all of the technical aspects to how a vinyl record works to your mastering engineer or your cutting engineer. They will know how to best treat your music in order to make it sound its best.
Yes. And so, you know, there's a lot of things on, you know, that you're going to find on the internet about like, oh, make sure your bass is mono and blah, blah, blah. It's not so much about that. It's more about how much high frequency information is going on, how much limiting is needed, and, you know, and then what is going to cause the cutter head to either get way too hot or to swing way too much to be able to actually get all of the good music on the disc. So those are big things. Documentation, side A, side B sequence, talking to your engineer. If they don't have experience making vinyl sequence masters, please call someone who does, like us, and we will totally always help them through it. So thanks again. I'm Piper. This is Colby. We're at Physical Music Products. Call us anytime.
We are back, baby. Thank you, Piper Payne, for that breakdown. I watched that before the show. She's back. Hey, you. Lay down. Lay down. Enough of that. Piper Mazzy says hello. So, yeah, I watched that segment before the show. They sent it over right before, and it was highly informative for me. And I think it was fascinating how you're talking about that if you put like a big loud song as the last song on a side, that it might jump the grooves, and you got to be more careful about that and handle it differently. Or if it's too quiet, it's going to be into distortion and noise. It was fascinating stuff. I thought that was a great segment. All right. Now I'm gonna. I reached out to a bunch of my mix engineer friends. Where is it? On your desktop. Oh, desktop. Hey, you. Ah, okay. So, little bitch. So what we did, we put together prep lists from me and several other mixing and mastering engineers. And this is basically something that if somebody needs like tips or, you know, instructions on how to prep your song to send it to a professional mixer properly, then these are the guidelines that you need. I will just blast through these really quickly because you can download this in the description of the show that you are watching right now. You can download the link. It has every single page of this. Highly, highly informative. And if you're a young mix engineer and you need something like this, feel free to use one of ours. Or, you know, mock up your own. Feel free to use our ideas. So here it is. You know, hush, woman. I'm not going to go through this because I'm a little late on the show and I want to spend more time on critiques, but I do want to go through and shout out the guys who contributed because Bob Horn, my Faders of the Lost Art brother, gave us his great setup tips. At Bob Horn Mixing, check him out. We have Nathan Phillips. He gave us a great listing of tips. Joseph Chudkey, we love Joseph. Joseph's prep tips, Ohad Nisam. This is a really great mastering prep. So, you know, when you finish your mix and you've got to send it off to mastering, if you're a young pro mixer or you're a mastering engineer, you can send this out. So there you go. Check all that out. It's in the description of the video you are watching right now. Go get it, the Pro Users Prep Guide. And please share it with your friends, repost it. It's meant to be shared. And, you know, you will find a lot of pros like me and Piper and a bunch of other people, Joseph Chudkey and the other contributors. You know, we all kind of generally feel fairly lucky that we have gotten this far in our careers for this long and are at this level still. And none of us take that for granted. And, you know, we love connecting with young creators, and if something that we can do can help level you guys up, then that's what we're here for. Why not give back? Because we want people making the best records that you can make so that we all enjoy music that much more, and you enjoy music more, and you enjoy making music more. And, and Mazzy, come on. So, you know, shout outs to the Mixing Night community, shout outs to everybody who helps contribute to this show. The behind the scenes guys, the pros that help contribute, man, we are just so fortunate. And, you know, on any given, hey, I see Nathan Phillips on the chat roll. Hey, Nathan. You know, on any given night, we have fucking heavies on the chat roll. It's crazy. Bob Horn's on all the time. Mazzy is trying to attack me right now. It's just cray. So I'm going to get to critiques, and I'm probably going to run a little bit long so that I can give you guys all decent critiques. I'm going to try and do 7 of them. Ben Kruger, Max Brandt, Marcus Manderson, Steven Ramos, Sam Champagne, Brian Pepin, Adrian Zendel, and Amos. Let's get to it. Ben Kruger, I love this. This feels so good. It's it gives me this like, hey you. I'm gonna put her outside so she doesn't. Come on, off you go. If you're gonna be too unruly, there you go. All right. Mazzy has said her final goodbyes for the evening. Goodbye, Maz. Thanks for holding down treats and security. All right, Ben Kruger. So, in the best way, this reminds me of like an 80s like Miami Vice song. I can't remember what that Glenn Frey song was, but it kind of gave me those vibes. And I feel like there's not a whole lot of songs like this nowadays. This could be a real sync gem for, you know, specific genre type stuff. Let me play it for you so you guys can hear it, and then I'll make some more comments on it.
Can't stop the night when there ain't no dawn. You've got this feeling that you can't control. There's something out there, but you can't be sure. Can't stop the night, can't stop the night. You stop to look, but it's gone too fast. Try to embrace what will never last. She dropped the bomb, and now you feel the blast. Can't stop the night, can't stop the night. You're running haywire, streets are on fire. Past all the red lights, filled with desire. She takes a corner, you lose control. Can't stop the night, can't stop the night. Take a deep breath and you don't feel your heartbeat. You're just wasted. You're just wasted.
Okay, you guys get the idea. I think this has a ton of potential. I think it needs to be mixed significantly better. It's a good, solid, rough mix, but nothing feels like a finished record to me, everything in its place. And the other thing that you need to do is either decide that you're going to work much harder on a lead vocal performance, or you can find a great vocalist to sing it for you, like Cassidy Ladden would murder this shit. And find a great vocalist to sing it for you if you're trying to pitch it for others. Eventually, you're going to be able to type the lyrics into AI or sing it with your voice, and AI is just going to be able to create the perfect vocal for it. But you need to tune your vocal. You need to work a little bit harder on expression and just tighten up your overall vocal performance. You know, unless this is a demo. If this is a demo for somebody else to re-sing, it's perfect. I totally understand exactly how I would want a singer to sing this. And I think if you put it together right, the saxophone's great, the beat is great, all stylistically, man, you're right there. So I just think you're a few moves away. Let's go to Max Brandt. Unless you already have a fan base, this long intro is going to lose you all listeners. Even this, if we shortened it up to just the clicks here, this is still a fuck ton of time. Man, there's going to be a lot of people who are skipping because they're like, I don't know who this person is. I don't know where this is going. Where if they would have hung out 2 seconds longer, they'd have been right there with you. So just food for thought. You don't have to arrange things for TikTok in a TikTok world, but you do have to acknowledge that people's attention spans are fucking gone. And if you want to reach new listeners, you might want to take new approaches. And what I do a lot when I'm producing basically unknown artists is I get to it real fast. I probably would already... Nah, I wouldn't even start here. Say, God damn, this is the longest intro ever. What's that? What did you say?
Killing me rapidly. Will I find my love in time for reasons that don't matter? Reasons that don't matter. I've been getting over my angst.
Okay, so other than the way too long intro for anybody but your hardcore fan base, I would shorten that up and drop it.
Eyes wide shut when I breathe in the smoke.
I'd be right on it. And the arrangement of this feels too linear. There's not enough of a lift into the chorus and a release out of the chorus. I feel like typically when I produce a song, and if I produced the instrumental for this, I would guide the listener a little bit more to just with the music. So if you were just listening to the instrumental without the vocals, you would know I'm in the verse right now. Oh, this must be the pre. Huh, oh, pause. Oh, here comes the chorus. And I'm in the chorus. Like, my arrangements I build that way. So they tend to be musically obvious what section you're in. You know, end of the chorus, oh, everything releases and let's go a little bit. And then, now we're into verse 2. I think well-arranged music does that. I think you can ebb and flow it a little bit more. I love the vocal textures of your voice. And I like the layering. It feels a little spread out. Like, it feels like 3 of you are coming at me, and I really want to focus on one of you singing to me. So if you're using doubles, maybe de-emphasize them or try just a single double track and not stereo double tracks on each side. And maybe just tuck it a little bit and just see if it gives you some of that vibe that you're looking for without getting pushy and pulley. With the second and third lead, double and triple on both sides, it pulls my attention away from the center, because sometimes this is a little bit ahead of the lead and sometimes this is a little bit ahead of the lead. I would probably vocal line all of any harmonies or backgrounds to the lead. I usually vocal line them at least gently to it so that everything kind of lines up in the same pocket that the lead vocal wants to live in, and everything just tends to groove better that way. So I think those are some possible level ups for you, but I think you got a really cool vibe to you. And is this the song? Yeah, the change up at the end here is fantastic. Listen to how he does this. I would probably have gotten to this much sooner.
I'm hanging my feet at the edge of a cliff.
Yes, please. That's Max Brandt. I love the change up from the real soft, baiting you in to the fucking big explosive ending. But I think this is all just mixed without dynamics, and I think you need to find a way to put dynamics back into the mix so that ending fucking hits you like a freight train in the face. But the verses feel gentle and the hooks feel lifted, and you get emotion out of it. All right, I'm going to keep going. Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. No, this is his submission. I just don't know if it's actually playing or not. There it is. What's going on, Marcus? There it is.
Tonight, the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come on, bring all your friends. These lights will make you feel alive again. Like 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, oh. Tonight, the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come on, bring all your friends. These lights will make you feel alive again. Like 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Like we're going to Vegas. Holler out the window like we're about to be famous. Dance until you can't see straight. This the place where the buzz is contagious, contagious. And we say, come on, be a little cold, so freeze. No, we won't ever leave. It's the groove of our dreams. Our friends in the scene, like a fever, and here we go. Oh, 'cause
tonight the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come on, bring all your friends.
Okay, first thing I would do is I would shorten the intro a little bit. Well, the first thing is you left a bunch of dead space on your file. And if I was an A&R person hitting play, I would have deleted this before the first note came in. Here's where the first note comes in. And no A&R is going to sit through this either unless you're a known entity or manager or anybody else or fan or music supervisor.
Tonight the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come.
So I'd either start it there.
The party won't. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Tonight the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come on, bring all your friends. These lights will make you feel alive again. Like 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, oh. Tonight the party won't ever end. Good vibes, so come on, bring all your friends. These lights will make you feel alive again. Like 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, oh.
I feel like I want to wait on that. I feel like I want to go straight to the drop after that. It's been a good energy for a good amount of time. Like as a listener, I'm ready to take a break.
These lights will make you feel alive again. Like 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, oh.
just look like we're going to Vegas. Holler out the window like we're about to be famous. Dance until you can't.
And then build it back up and put the as like the end of the second, take the second chorus there. But just get us into the song with the first chorus. And, that's how I do it. But love the song, love the different elements. I can definitely tell you guys spent some serious time making sure that you got great performances. The mix is solid. Everything about it is really well done. I would just make the arrangement a little more concise and get to it more. and I think you got a gem on your hands. Steven Ramos. Okay, I'm going to critique Steven Ramos in a minute. I just want to give some shout-outs. Everybody's popping on the chat roll right now. Clay Lahat, the Fingers, MBI. Who's out there? Okay, right. Rosso, what's up? What's up? Man, keep posting. So Steven Ramos. I haven't heard this vocalist on anything else, but having worked with 2 gazillion vocalists in my lifetime as a producer and recording engineer, I feel like she's got better performances in her. And maybe go watch my January recording vocals mixing night. I think it was January 10th of 2024. And if you can get her back in the studio and she can give you better, I just feel like she's a little nervous or a little, like, just not the most confident fucking over-the-top, swag performance on this. From a mix perspective, overall, I like the mix, but there is a frequency in the vocal that is piercing, and it's right around probably 3K, somewhere around 3 to 4K. I would let me just do it. Take a little notch and just notch that really piercing frequency out. And when you get rid of that piercing frequency that doesn't really have any musicality to it, then you can raise the level of the whole rest of the vocal because you don't have that one stray frequency poking you in the ears. Let me show you. This big notch here softens up. You hear how this big notch here softens up the lead vocal. So I wouldn't do that across the entire mix. I would pull the lead vocal up and really scoop out that mid-range a little bit so that just kind of piercing, it's probably like a microphone imperfection. Sometimes that's just a piece of the artist's voice. But if you reduce that, all of a sudden the vocal gets warmer and vibier to me. And you can hear I just brought out a little bit, like I brought some of the enunciation back with this band 5 at 1900 hertz, and I cut it at 3.4K. Notched at 3.4K, kind of a wide, gentle bell at 1900 hertz. And then musically, I gave it a bump at 300 hertz at 3.5 dB at Q of 7. which it's not that narrow. But here's with and without that 300 hertz bump.
Yo no me puedo controlar cuando al oído me hablas. Oye, déjate llevar. Yo no lo esperaba.
And I could probably grab my favorite EQ, the UAD Pultec Pro Legacy, that stacks the MEQ5 and the EQP1A together. And man, that's my favorite mix bus carving EQ for really developing mix bus. So try those things, and I think you're gonna get a great song even greater. And nowadays, man, the better you can throw down, the better chances you have of breaking through that 23,000 songs a day noise and getting attention. Let's go to Sam Champagne. Happy 3rd of July, Sam Champagne. Okay, I'm gonna go in reverse order. What a beautiful song, Sam. It's really gorgeous. The chorus, you need to de-ess your support vocals a little bit more. Those S's firing off in each ear, especially in headphones, are gonna distract you from the lead vocal. So I always tend to de-ess my side panned, left and right panned backing vocals more than I would de-ess my lead vocal. It's okay if the sides sound on the verge of lispiness as long as you don't hear it as that in the mix, because you really want to get your S content from the lead vocal. You don't want to get rid of all of the S's on the sides, but you really want to minimize them. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is give your voice a touch more compression and turn it up a little bit. I feel like your voice needs to shine on this mix more. And I would have it up at least a dB, dB and a half, maybe even 2. And let it command the music more. I feel like you're even on par with the music, but I want to hear you as the leader. And your voice sounds beautiful on this. Gorgeous vocal performance. The beat doesn't build much between the verse, the pre, and the chorus. You could either maybe add a big clap on the fours on the chorus, or you could filter the snare on the verses and let it open up in the pre-chorus, and then you could add like a clap on the fours in the hook, or a tambourine or something, a loop of anything interesting just to grow that energy just a little bit more in the hook. And if it's too much, then just go back to what you have. It's beautiful already. I love the intro, sets a mood really well. But I think you're just like a few moves away from perfection on this. It's really gorgeous work. Brian Pepin. Brian, I tried to pull up your entire session tonight and mix it, but it just too many plugins were missing, and it just sounded like 2 different songs. So I'm going to play Brian's mix. I'll just give you my feedback on this, so while you're listening, you can hear it. Love the arrangement. Love the interplay with the instrumentation, but I did get to play with the stems on the session some, and I can tell you that I think you have an amazing sense of rhythm, but these need to be blended rhythmically better to get the impact that you want out of them. And I just spent a few minutes with the stems, and I kind of felt like, oh, these these flow much better. It feels like one thing instead of 4 different things bouncing around. So I think you need to get your, your fast-paced arpeggio musicality things kind of more sounding like one lockstep unit and not all these different parts. Your vocals, I think, could come up a little bit in the mix. And I think, you just need to take a few more chances in the mix and just be a little bit more exciting with it. But man, the song is great and has such potential. I think you just need a better mix with it.
Lift me up, mend my soul, break my heart, turn me on. Lift me up, fill my cup, feel so right, run the night. Get my hands out, will you help me over the line? I'm in trouble, building obstacles in my mind.
There's 2 drastic lead vocal difference between the verse and the hook. The verse has this kind of dark single lead vocal, and the hook has this kind of real telephone filtered mid-rangey piercing layer of vocals. So just listen how it comes out of the hook and transitions into the verse. You need to probably brighten up the top end of your verse vocal a little bit and turn it up a little bit so that it flows a little bit more smoothly and from chorus into verse.
I'm in trouble. Make my heart, turn me on, lift me up, fill my cup, feel so right, run the night. Get my hands out, will you help me over the line? I'm in trouble, building.
See how all of a sudden I have to struggle to listen, and I've got to pay more attention to pick out the lyric, and most people don't really pay attention like that. But I think this is so close. I also think you might visit trying different snare sounds. That works, but I feel like your drums could be a little bit. I don't know if busier is the right word. I think maybe you can pick better sounds. So try that. I am gonna this Adrian Zendel song, High Tide. I feel like this is so close to finished, you really just need to master it.
Keeps rising. High tide is coming. The pressure is on. High tide is coming in. Look on the horizon. We'd best be moving on, moving on. For what can be done? The signs say so down. Where can we run to find our way out?
So my only mixed tips to try would be, I feel like this is reggae, so I want to feel that bass line a little bit deeper and bigger. And I would experiment with trying to dry up one of the lead vocals in the hook and make it a little bit more present so that you have one leader of the gang and the gang behind it. I feel like it's just a little bit everybody's kind of over there, and I want somebody performing for me and everybody else over there. So that's my general impression of it. And I think it's not far from being mastered, but I think it needs some mastering. The horns are maybe a little bit piercing in the upper mids, but overall, I think you're like a few moves away. It's really, really good. Okay, I'm going to do Amos, and then I'm going to pack it in for the night. Thank you, everybody who's been hanging in. Nathan Phillips is still on. MBI, Ben Kruger, LeBradford Williams, DaFingas, Shell Low Arnold, hey, Astro Joey, Nicholas I can never get your name, Farafontov? Nicholas Farafontov, LeBradford, I got you, K. Wright. It's great to see everybody. Stephen Ramos, hey, I'm glad you're still on. I hope you caught that. All right, I'm gonna go to Amos, and then since I'm going tonight, I'm gonna end the show with just my 2 minutes of what I've been doing this summer. It's gonna be nerd time. All right, here's Amos. Wednesday. These vocals are way too low if I'm supposed to understand them.
What does it mean to be comfortable in your own skin when you know that you don't own it? Got it all alone or don't know when it expires, and that part's required to reach dimensions higher, higher, and join heaven's quiet, quiet. But how do I expect to ascend? Been thinking back on all the times that I sinned. There's a balance out with all the prayers that I said. Well, the future is the present, the past. You can't get stuck looking back through the looking glass. In my mind's eye, I can see anything I wanna say, everything that I wanna need. Yeah, inside my twisted point of view, don't let your choices spoil you. In my mind's eye, I can.
All right, I think this. I fucking love the production. It's such a cool piece of music and a song. The intro vocals, if I'm not supposed to understand them, then I think they're sitting perfectly. But as a listener who's never heard you before, they may be wondering why they don't understand verse 1. So I kind of took it as we're not supposed to until the moment that everything kind of branches out. Mix-wise, I think it's a hair too bright on the tippy top. It feels like my eardrums are being slightly assaulted by like 15K and up. And I feel like the vocals are a little bit too low overall and not even enough throughout the song, like that other song that I just, was it Brian Pepin? Yeah, same problems as Brian Pepin. The songs are clearer in some, or the vocals are clearer in some sections than others. And they just don't flow smoothly enough from section to section. But I think you've kind of created this really cool vibe. You're not focusing enough on the lead vocal. But again, I think you're a few moves away from something really, really freaking cool. And, see how you do. Okay. So thus concludes the critiquing. If you haven't gotten the Pro Users Mix Prep Guide, it is in the description of the video you are watching right now. A whole bunch of our pro mixing and mastering friends contributed their prep lists to it. So if you're a young up-and-coming mixer or mastering engineer and you're getting clients and you want to, get them, to deliver the files to you correctly so you don't screw it up, use one of ours, or, conglomerate the best of all of the things that make sense to you from all of our different ones and make your own. That's totally acceptable. And share it. Share the Pro Mix Tip Guide with all of your friends. Mixing Night is all about community and all about sharing. And I am, before I go, gonna show you my month of adventure. So last night, Nolan Monagold invited me to the Drum Corps International Professional. It's basically drum and brass and like flag line and shit like that. I'll show you. So you're not supposed to record, but man, fuck it. This is 10 seconds, and you're gonna see. To be there, we were way up in the stands, and that shit was way over 100 dB when the horns were all blasting together on one like cluster chord, man. And there was four of these drum lines performing last night. It was amazing. Here are the Canton Bluecoats. They won the competition last night. was so much fun, man. That was just like, if you love, live music, those horns and the drum lines, and they had xylophone. They had like, each crew has like 10 xylophones. It's crazy the shit they were doing last night. Super impressive, super fun to watch. So I had my birthday. I turned 54 on, is it 54? Yeah, I'm 54 now. How the fuck did I get to be 54? Jesus. On June 13th. And to celebrate my birthday, I went to a place where I've always wanted to visit and see the fun for myself. Northern Kentucky has a museum called the Creation Museum, and it is what you think. And I did not know this. Here's me and Lori at the Creation Museum. I did not know that men and dinosaurs walked together on Earth. That was new information. So apparently dinosaurs and men walked together on Earth less than 6,000 years ago. And I bet you didn't know that dinosaurs were the dragons of old myths. Yep. And then me and Nolan Monagold went to the Union Center Museum Center. This used to be a train station in Cincinnati, built in 1933. It's the most gorgeous building ever. And me and Nolan went down there to just investigate interesting spaces. And what a gorgeous place. Here's the main atrium. It was 180 feet wide by 110 feet tall, all Art Deco. That American flag is absolutely gigantic. And you can see how tiny the people are compared to the enormity of the building. This was the train station in Cincinnati for decades, and then kind of fell in disrepair, and then they revitalized it and turned it into a museum. So these arches right here, you can stand in the corner here, and somebody else can stand in the corner there, and you can talk up the wall, and the wall transmits the sound all the way over the arch to the other person here. You cannot hear the direct line of sound at all, but you can hear a bit of the voice coming through the arch. It's the craziest acoustic phenomenon. I highly recommend it if you're anywhere near Cincinnati. Union Terminal Museum Center is literally right off the highway. You exit and you're turning practically right into the parking lot. It's a very, very cool space. So if you're visiting Cincinnati, check that out. And it's what a fucking long show. Sorry, everybody. Or maybe thank you, everybody, for sticking around. You guys are freaking awesome. Have a great and very safe 4th of July, everybody. Keep all 10 of your fingers so you can all stay amazing musicians and people, and take care of each other, and happy mixing night. Thank you for all tuning in. I will see you next month, the first Wednesday of the month, whatever that is in August. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. I'm going to try and bring you guys another Throwdown cook-up. So until then, have a great 4th of July. Good night.